The sun has risen on a new season. A new campaign means new expectations. The retooled, new look San Diego Seals collide with the reset, rebuilt Philadelphia Wings. It all starts now. NLL Face-Off weekend continues with the Caster countdown to face-off. The Philadelphia Wings and the San Diego Seals in the finale of kickoff weekend. Hi, everybody. We welcome you inside the press box at Pechanga Arena in San Diego. He is Nick Acello. I'm Cooper Perkins. Thank you for spending your Sunday with us. Partner, it is good to be back.
I missed you.
We are so back, and these teams are so back, but they're different. Make no mistake about it, especially the Wings. We'll begin with them. This is not the same group that went 6-12 a year ago. They had some opportunities to get better this offseason, and their general manager, Paul Day, was creative. They used the dispersal draft probably better than anybody, and this new roster is going to be far more competitive.
And if you were watching Panther City last year, you'll see a lot of familiar faces on the Philadelphia Wings, a good mix of distributors, players, everybody getting in on the action.
The biggest one, I think, Nick Damu, the former SEAL, actually returning to San Diego tonight. We saw him play for Panther City in the playoffs last year. He was phenomenal and such a bright future.
And it's a great little emerging rivalry of two of the youngest and brightest star goaltenders in the league, with his counterpart Chris Origlieri joining Nick Damu as two of the younger players to be suiting up in the NLL. So keep an eye on this goaltender matchup, but let's not forget it's not just the defensive half of Philadelphia that's improved.
Tonight, the headliner is obvious. You've heard it everywhere. 2024 #1 overall pick, Brennan O'Neill, former Tuerton Trophy winner at Duke, also the MVP of the World Championships in the field game a couple of years ago. This kid is special. He's the first American to go #1 overall since Casey Powell in 1998. What are you expecting to see out of him, though? It's an entirely different ballgame inside the box.
And it's so fun to watch him. So as we look at what's going to translate from his field to the box game, the #1 thing that sticks out to me is his athleticism. Whether it's a big defender, small defender, he is just going to put his shoulder down and bully his way to where he wants to on the floor. And combine that with some elite stick skills, I am expecting him to make a big impact here tonight.
Yeah, his resume is as good as anybody. You mentioned just a moment ago, second American to go #1 overall. Just the fourth player to be picked top overall in both the indoor and outdoor professional lacrosse leagues. More than 300 career points, just the fourth player in NCAA history to have both 200 goals and 100 assists. Now, it's not just Philadelphia that has changed up their roster. This is a very different San Diego team. We've seen them run it back a couple of times trying to break through. This time, they burnt it down and have an entirely different left side, with just a whole bunch of new faces.
And you mentioned the difference in the left side, and I think the biggest impact is it's going to be putting a lot of pressure to initiate on the right side. So look for guys like Westberg and Trey LeClaire, some of those quick, shifty, powerful right-handed players for the Seals, to be making a bigger impact this season as opposed to last season, and combine that with them adding a key addition in transition in Zach Currier. Certainly something to keep an eye out here tonight.
Yeah, Zach Currier is maybe the jewel of the offseason for San Diego. He changes their transition game so much immediately with his athleticism, lacrosse IQ, and ability to score in transition.
And one of the biggest differences in Chris Origlieri from his rookie campaign up until last year was his willingness to throw those aggressive outlet passes. He just didn't really have a #1 weapon to do that. Well, make no mistake, that's about as good of a weapon as you could possibly hope for. So expect 77 in purple to have an impact right out of the gates.
Mentioned that it is almost an entirely new left side this season for San Diego. Ryan Benesh is going to step in with his 550-plus career goals. He's not really a ball carrier, but they're going to ask him to do a little bit more of that than he's had to in Halifax the last couple of years.
A smart and crafty veteran player. You kind of mentioned that don't expect him to be the one initiating, but expect him to be in the right place at the right time. We'll probably look at his stat line a couple times throughout the season and go, how the heck did he have 4 goals? He only carried the ball for 30 seconds. But that's what he brings, as a smart off-ball player, which every every offense needs.
Maybe the most surprising acquisition was the free agent signing of former Las Vegas captain Rob Hellier. He is going to pair with Wes Berg and probably be the best passer that Berg has played with in his 7 years in the NLL.
And you give Wes Berg a good distributor, and that's going to be lightning in a bottle. So I'm really excited. Again, we kind of mentioned it, but something to really keep an eye on is how efficient they're playing together. So even if they have a rough first quarter, the Berg-Hellier connection is going to be electric all season long.
Well, these are not the only acquisitions, right? There's a laundry list of rookies. 5 players could potentially make their debuts for San Diego among the opening night rosters. A couple of them have been scratched, but still very, very likely 3 rookies are going to play for San Diego. They also went out and got a veteran in Ben McIntosh. McIntosh is a tremendous off-ball piece. He's down on the floor right now with our very own Morgan Worth. We apologize for audio technicality issues. Hopefully we'll be able to hear from Morgan soon. But to finish the thought on Ben McIntosh, I think, Nick, the biggest difference we're going to see from San Diego's offense year over year, at times the last couple of seasons, the ball has had a tendency to die in sticks. This is a much more off-ball centric group.
And it's going to be really exciting because they still have initiators, but I think you nailed it right there. When the San Diego offense was struggling to get momentum last season, oftentimes we saw 15 seconds just trying to beat a double, trying to beat a triple, and in a league filled with great defenders, you're just not going to do that.
Their excellent goaltender, Chris O'Riglieri, has yet to turn 22. He'll have a birthday in a couple of weeks as he's still the youngest member of the San Diego starting lineup. Danny Logan facing things off for San Diego. Connor Sellers, the Tyler Burton, I should say, for Philadelphia. Logan wins the first loose ball of the season and gets one on net. Dane Mood there for the save.
Interesting shot, not the best angle, but Danny Logan coming out of the gates, losing the clamp, but still getting possession.
Philadelphia with aggression. Scott Dominy sailed it wide of the net as Mitch Jones settles it down. Jones on that lefty side has come into his own since joining this Philadelphia franchise. The near side for Callum Crawford was actually taken in the dispersal draft by San Diego, then signed as a free agent with Philadelphia. Reardon's shot was blocked and the shot clock expires on the wings.
Great off-ball movement by Philadelphia's left side right there. And what San Diego has to do, you see Callum Crawford, a crafty veteran, just sitting there. The term is called shopping. He just had his hands in his eyes, waiting for somebody to get open. You got to get pressure on him.
Righty heavy for San Diego as Hellier goes to try and track it down, keep it across the center line with 20 seconds still in the shot clock. Berg and Leclerc in a 2-man game. Off to Benesh. Circles in, shoots, and burns the first one of the season. Welcome to San Diego, Ryan Benesh.
Exactly what you wanted to see if you're a fan of the Seals. A hard dodge from Wes Berg that draws enough attention so that Ryan Benesh can get open, but it's actually the pick from Noakes right here as we see just a great little separating move so that Benesh can get his hands and his eyes, and just like we called it, that's about 3 seconds of time. Benesh holding the ball into his first goal of the season, first goal for the franchise this year. Perfect.
You mentioned Adam Noakes, who set the pick that opened up Benesh, making his NLL debut. Was on the roster last year as a practice guy most of the season. Had a great career with the Coquitlam Adnax in the Junior A circuit, and helps out on the first goal for San Diego. Here's Trent DeChico. We welcome the new viewers joining us on ESPN2. Opening game of the season for the San Diego Seals and Philadelphia Wings, concluding NLL face-off weekend. Holden Catoni stings one near side as the Wings level it up. One of the best shooters in the National Lacrosse League gets on the board.
tough to give one of the best shooters that much room. He kind of took advantage of a little bit of miscommunication from San Diego's defense. You just see how much time he had. Both San Diego defenders not really knowing if they're going with the pick, if they're going with the roll, and Katoni gets that separation. Hands, eyes, bullseye. Can't let Katoni get that momentum towards the middle of the floor.
And Mitch Jones, who's known primarily as a ball carrier, actually leading him like a fullback there. The great pick to help him get open. Now even here in the first quarter, Ryan Benesh scored the opener for San Diego on just their second possession, and now Holden Katoni evens it up for Philadelphia. Wings have retooled their roster thanks to some creative moves by their general manager, Paul Day. They are not the same group that went 6-12 and finished 13th last season. Ball is swatted away by the rookie Matt Wright as he's battling and winning some fans in San Diego. Controlled by the Wings. Jones will initiate. Near side, Crawford gives it right back to Jones. O'Neal to his left. O'Neal setting hard picks. Down low, Origlieri makes his first key save of the night.
Boy, working with a limited shot clock, I was curious if Philadelphia was going to be able to get a good shot off, but their lefties are proving lethal, operating in vertical space. San Diego needs to find their spots up high or down low.
Noakes controls it for San Diego. He and Benesh are the lefties. Noakes tiptoeing, and he steps into crease, defended there by Alex Pace.
Good defense by Pace. Noakes tried to take that underneath angle, but Pace has been bench pressing in the offseason, really knocked Noakes off of his path.
Katoni sweeping over to Resiteritz. Excellent closeout by Kellen LeClaire to disrupt the shot as the ball pinballs around and is controlled by LeClaire. Defense is playing well early here in San Diego.
And I'm impressed with Philadelphia's offense. Always curious to see how well they're going to mesh, but the spacing looks good. The cuts look good. Impressive start for the Wings.
Trent DeChico swings it over to Hellier. And near side, Courier getting a shift on offense. He can score, only put in one last year. Feeds out to Hellier. His shot steered into the corner by Damoud and controlled by Connor Sellers, who works it ahead. Wings pushing. It's Liam Patton, one of their dispersal draft picks. Malcolm drops it to Jones up high. Beautiful transition execution by the Wings as Mitch Jones has his first of the year.
And it is tough to do in the first game, but you got to know the personnel. We have a transition player running down in Malcolm, and you really just want to try and rotate quicker because that's one of the most dangerous areas of the floor. You want to try and force as many passes as possible, but just one and done. It's going to benefit Philadelphia every time.
Well, Tony Malcolm, who had the primary assist on that goal for Jones, is one of the more underrated but borderline elite transition players in the NLL. He's on his 5th franchise in his 9th season, but he has made an impact everywhere he's been. Davis Allen slows it up and we'll get a change as Resiteritz comes flying onto the floor. Got to chat with Joe this morning in the elevator. America's all-time leading scorer. Trying to work it down low. Pinball's back out to Resiteritz, who whiffs on it. Now Logan with Bradley to his left will slam on the brakes and let the offense pour onto the floor. Benesh.
And look at how set Philadelphia's defense is. They're winning the transition battle here to start.
Berg, the late man on. Benesh trying to find him. Circling. Shot kicked away. Damoud. Philadelphia back-to-back goals. Here's Brennan O'Neal initiating. Big strong body, and there's number 1 for 34. The first of what surely will be many as the 22-year-old Brennan O'Neal cracks the NLL scoring book for the first time.
And this is exactly what we expected to see from Brennan O'Neal. We've seen him do it in college. We've seen him do it at the World Games. And now welcome to the NLL. Brennan O'Neal with his patented jab step runs right through that stick check. And his shot is so deceptive because the head of his stick, when he winds up, almost starts down at his feet, and then he brings it all the way over the top before flinging it to the bottom corner. Such a sneaky, deceptive shot. And Brennan O'Neill, welcome to the party.
So Brennan O'Neill puts the Wings up 2 goals, first of what will be many for the #1 overall pick out of Duke. Three goals in 3.5 minutes for Philadelphia, the most recent authored by #1 overall pick Brennan O'Neill, making his NLL debut for a team that he actually has watched previously. Down on the floor right now, Morgan Worth has more on Brennan O'Neill.
Overall in this past draft by the Wings. The first ever NLL game the New York native saw was a Wings game when he was in 4th or 5th grade, and he was a fan ever since. And because of that, he says this organization holds a special place in his heart. O'Neill elaborated, saying today just proves hard work pays off. Ever since that moment, he had dreams and aspirations of playing professional lacrosse. And because of that, he said it's such a full circle moment, making his NLL debut, and all he wanted was a win in his debut. So he's working towards that with that goal, Cooper.
Great story as the full circle moment for Brennan O'Neill. Now Callum Crawford, who has scored many a goal, between the legs attempt is turned away, and there will be a penalty as Crawford draws it driving hard to the cup.
San Diego, penalty #4, 2 minutes, holding.
Always such a difficult task when Callum Crawford gets that one-on-one. You have to do everything you can to prevent him, and Rubish did strip the ball, but got a little bit of a hold on the way there.
First power play of the season for a Wings group that was second in the NLL last year at 57%. Same guy running the point is Mitch Jones. He has Resetaritz to his left, Tony to his right. Resetaritz converts it. Only needed 20 seconds as the Wings are on a 4-0 run.
Good ball movement by Philadelphia right there, getting it all around the floor. You see it come from one side to the other, and looks like Origlieri was just a little bit out of position, and Resetaritz does such a good job of sneaking that near side. You saw there was a little bit of an alley to shoot, but that was set up by swinging the ball around, not just keeping it on one side of the floor. As Resetaritz gets his first of the season, and watch out, Philadelphia with some serious momentum here.
Resetaritz has scored 37 goals or more in 3 straight seasons. Only did it once the first 8 years of his career. Now, as he turns it into the back half of his 30s, Resetaritz has found his finest form. San Diego now hunting for an answer. 4 straight Philadelphia goals. Wesley Bird spins it to Hellier. Trying to find some production. Benesh, the only goal so far tonight for San Diego. And the corner, Courier battling. The shot clock's going to run out before San Diego can get a chance to win it back.
And there's just such a difference in the quality of the offensive possessions here in the first quarter. Philadelphia looks relaxed. Their spacing looks good. They're not getting in each other's way. And ironically enough, when San Diego gets out there, they're not into a rhythm yet. So defense needs to come up with a stop to give their offense a chance to settle in.
How much of that can you attribute to the fact San Diego has an entirely new left side?
Good chunk, but not enough to warrant how bad it's been so far, but look for them to improve.
Tough but fair. Callum Crawford, glove save by O'Reglieri as he's trying to get his team out and running. Lofted one for Belgrave, and it carries out of play.
Bit of an unlucky break right there. You might be thinking he overthrew that, but oftentimes goalies will throw that ball expecting that bounce and the transition player to run into it, but unfortunately it just snuck over the boards.
Wings offense is humming. Here's O'Neill. Has one already tonight in his debut. Crawford back to the point. Catoni backpedaling back to Crawford. Steps in. Signed late in the free agency period. Shot clock at 6 seconds. Catoni trying to connect.
And that's exactly what you wanted to see from San Diego. Brendan O'Neill getting a sweep, and here comes Danny Logan. Callum Crawford not having the ability to sit there and shop for the pass. Really quality defensive possession right there for San Diego.
Couple of rookies on the floor for San Diego in Noakes and DeChico. Here's Noakes. Pushing his way underneath, tiptoes the crease, back up to Leclerc. DeChico out of Ohio State. Hellier kicked away by Damoud, but a fresh shot clock for the Seals. They like Trent DeChico. They like him so much they traded up to get him. Gets it back from Leclerc. Still 15 seconds in the shot clock. DeChico wheeling around, finds some room, and Damoud comes way out of his crease to make the save. Now the Wings trying to force the issue as Resiteritz will slow it up. Noticeable difference in the speed of changes between these teams as well.
Philadelphia being fired out of a cannon. San Diego playing a little bit of catch-up in the transition game.
O'Neill trying to take on one of the league's best defenders. Rubish gets turned away. Resiteritz playing a little two-man game with Phil Caputo. And he has his second. A worm burner sneaks past O'Reglieri, and what a first quarter for Philadelphia.
And what a first quarter for Resiteritz. This was a ridiculous goal. Really threading the needle between the physicality that Drew Belgrave was trying to apply as we see him go underneath before he spins back up top. And look at that switch right there. He did not have a lot of room to operate, and as he got that shot off, he shot around the pick, which makes it impossible for the goaltender to get a read. So it might not have looked spectacular, but the level of difficulty on that, really impressive stuff from Resiteritz.
5-0 Wings run. Jones and O'Neill pick up assists on the goal as San Diego controls the face-off thanks to Danny Logan, and he trots it all the way up himself.
A bright spot for San Diego. I've noticed they've won a lot of those 50-50 loose balls. You got guys like Zach Curry or Danny Logan. They just need to start capitalizing on it.
McIntosh, the late man, on to join. Courier works it to Berg. Into McIntosh, and they're going to get him for a moving screen. Now the Wings go back to work with their offense absolutely zipping around the floor. This new look Wings team has looked impressive. O'Neill taking on Graydon Bradley, hands free, and O'Reglieri got it that time. Yeah, that's a big difference between the box and field game. That's probably a goal 9 times out of 10, the field game for O'Neill.
And he's going back to the same well. Granted, we've only seen 2 shots on net from him, so he's shooting 50%, but trying to sting that bottom right corner, O'Reglieri ain't going to give that up twice.
DeChico underneath, twister, and he's in the crease.
Philadelphia's defense is doing a really good job of baiting San Diego's initiators to go where they want them to go. We've seen the left side of the floor kind of have that underneath angle, but by the time they're even close to getting a shot off, the defense has collapsed.
Caputo picked up from Ottawa in the Zach Higgins trade after going to the Black Bears in the dispersal draft. Now Mitch Jones trying to get his second. O'Reglieri denies him. Under 5 to go in the opening quarter. Philadelphia on a 5-0 run after Ryan Benesh opened the scoring for San Diego early in the first quarter. Here is Benesh, 554 career tallies, and he has another one. An oopsie goal as it trickled past Nick Damoud. The 1,300th career point for Ryan Benesh on his 555th career goal. Tops among active players and 4th all time.
And just such a smart shot to get off. Look at how he shoots above 3 players in front of him, 1 teammate and 2 opponents. And he just recognizes and says, if you're going to give me this space, I know the goaltender can't get a read on my stick because there are 3 guys in front of me. Damoud gets a little bit of it, but not enough.
Wings, Domini! He gets one to go. Immediately, Philadelphia gets the goal back.
And Philadelphia not giving a shot of momentum back to San Diego as they respond in seconds. And whether you want to call it a tough break or just an opportunistic chance, you see the loose ball fall out of the stick, and with a full head of steam, just converts right before Eli Gobrecht makes contact. And you could kind of see how deflating that was from the San Diego players, kind of looking up going, well, what more can we do? The ball just seems to be bouncing right into the stick of the Wings here.
Well, Domini with his first of the season, 2nd year with the Wings, came over to Philadelphia in the 3-team trade that sent Trevor Baptiste to San Diego. So kind of a loose connection between Domini and the San Diego Seals. Never played for them, but involved in landing one of their bright stars. Callum Crawford surveys his options and backs in on Belgrave. Retreats, O'Neill lost his footing on this fresh, brand new turf. That is worth a comment. The turf is pristine here in San Diego.
It's good. We've seen some slips here early on, but expect when that turf gets to be broken in. I mean, it is beautiful. I was out there running cuts, pretending like I still had something left in the tank, but I'm sure the players are enjoying it.
How's your groin holding up after that?
Not well.
Rob Hellier turned away by former SEAL Mike McCannell. Now DeChico, feet and back door. Excellent look for Leclerc, who cannot backhand it home, but Berg is there. Shot clock about to expire as Hellier gets it on, but Damoud controls it for the Wings, and Philadelphia gets out of danger.
Even though it didn't result in a goal, I like that San Diego possession, attacking from different areas of the floor. If it's not working, you got to change it up, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Jones has been deferring quite a bit to Crawford in this opening quarter. Empty net here with 3 minutes to go. Delayed penalty. Crawford. And Origlieri has it poked out to the corner where Reardon is waiting. Resiteritz gets clobbered by Kellen Leclerc, and the 2nd power play for the Wings coming up. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman will be in the Mile High City for our Week 13 Monday Night Football matchup. Myles Garrett and Jameis Winston and the Browns take on Bo Nix, Patrick Surtain, and the 7-5 Broncos. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN and ESPN Deportes. It's all Wings in San Diego. Philadelphia up 6-2 in the first.
San Diego 14, 2 minutes illegal cross-check.
Back to you, talking back to you.
Is here and it's free. The league's new streaming service offers fans around the world access to live games, full game replays, highlights, and exclusive content. Sign up today at NLL.com/plus. Wesley Berg has to sit down in the sin bin. 2nd penalty taken by the Seals in the opening quarter. Wings only needed 12 seconds to convert their first power play into a goal, and so far, Nick, really no answers defensively for San Diego.
No, and a lot of it, especially in the 5-on-5, is just a matter of pressure. I'm not seeing San Diego make it difficult for Philadelphia's offense. A chance to right the track right here.
Logan Courier, Rubish, and Bradley, the short man for the Seals. And once again, Holden Catoni, 12 seconds into the power play. A scoring clinic from the Philadelphia Wings in the first quarter today.
And it's just so tough when you're a man down. You kind of have to figure out what you want to give up. Realistically, not the worst shot, but when the Wings sticks are that hot, they're just picking corners, shooting deceptively, and giving a Wrigley a handful in the net tonight.
8th-year pro Holden Catoni, picked up in a trade before last season, came over from Rochester where he had his first 40-goal campaign. Longtime connection to former head coach and now general manager Paul Day.
And even though things aren't going San Diego's way, I got to say, watching Zach Currier just run into an absolute mix-up and come away with the ball almost every time.
Getting a shift at forward into Benesh. He has both San Diego goals as the Seals offense has been quiet, to say the least, in this first quarter. Noakes trying to give him a spark on the forecheck, and he does exactly that. Currier picks it up on the restart. Currier scores! First in purple for number 77, and a juice goal for the Seals off the turnover.
If you're talking about a goal that will give you momentum, look no further than this. Great job applying pressure by DeCecco right there. And here comes none other than the transition player of the year last year, Zach Currier. And his patience is what separates him from most. Most people are just going to shoot. But what does he do? He holds it, one fake, two fake, and by the time it was out of his stick, Damoud had no chance. So the effort on the ride, Currier getting his first in purple. If there was a chance that San Diego was going to get some momentum from a goal, that was it.
Now they're going to get the ball right back. First career assist for Trent DeCicco. Zach Currier now matching his goal total from all of last season. Had just 1 in 18 games, an uncharacteristically down season for him. Hadn't scored less than 6 in a full season in any other year in his career. Noakes fires one on Cage. Damoud, easy work. LeClaire on the forecheck. Pops to McIntosh, who continues to battle and comes up with it with a fresh 30 seconds. Well, Hellier, Noakes, Benesh, LeClaire, and McIntosh on the floor for the Seals. Here's Benny Mack with his first as a Seal. Cross floor from Adam Noakes as Ben McIntosh, the former Wing, stings his old team.
Two big additions in Currier and McIntosh producing here in game one. And this is what I wanted to see from the San Diego offense, that spacing that allows those cross-floor passes. And McIntosh, similar to what we were talking about with Benesh, so lethal to get it in and out of his stick quickly. He held on to that for a split second. Yeah, good momentum from San Diego here.
McIntosh was a great offseason pickup in free agency. I mean, he is an automatic 30 goals a season. He's played 9 years in the league and has had 30 goals 8 times. Well, it figures to have a lot of opportunities rolling off picks for San Diego this year. Now can Brennan O'Neill and the Wings answer? He's scored once and has an assist tonight. Backing in, sweeping to the top. That's been his favorite spot tonight. Far side, Catoni with a first quarter hat trick.
My goodness.
High heat from Holden Catoni. A snowman in the first quarter for the Wings.
And there's not a lot to say about this goal other than the placement is unbelievable. Stings that top right corner. Wrigley wasn't even too far out of position. But my goodness, that's as top right gets. And here comes Poulin to relieve a Wrigley of his duties.
Oh, Mike Poulin, 17 years in the league, 38 years young, out of Kitchener, Ontario. Only played 28.5 minutes last year, backing up Wrigley and kind of serving as a second goaltending coach. So with San Diego trying to get a spark, they bring Poulin into the game. Final 25 seconds of the first quarter. High scoring first quarter at that. A dozen between the two teams. lot of firsts in this game as well. Zach Currier playing a lot of forward in this first quarter today. Shot clock is off. Seals are going to hold for it and play 6-on-5. Berg. His shot kicks away. LeClaire retrieves it. Currier up high off Damoud as Berg swats at it, and the clock hits 0. Now the Wings escape the 6-on-5, keeping the ball out of the cage, and take a 4-goal lead into the second quarter. What a debut for the 2024 season for the new-look Wings. This is not the same group from last year. They're on top of the Seals after 1.
Pechanga Arena. The Wings are up 8-4 over the Seals. And something cool here in San Diego, the Seals have joined up with other pro sports in San Diego, joining a pro sports military alliance. It's the first of its kind program offering complimentary tickets, discounted tickets, on-base activations, and support to military members and their families. It's an initiative that, rather than an individual team fostering a relationship with the military, the teams are coming together with the goal of recognizing and rewarding these members and their service and sacrifice for our good. So they are all doing something really great here for the big military presence in San Diego. Cooper?
Thanks, Morgan. Yeah, San Diego is a big-time military city. The coolest aspect of it, Nick, is that it's about having Military Appreciation Night essentially every night and letting these folks come to games without the pomp and circumstance and without having to be on their best behavior. Let them come, have a hot dog, spill some mustard on your shirt. No one's looking at you funny. Just enjoy a sporting event like everyone else gets to while we thank you for your service. Here on the floor, Philadelphia Wings up 8-4. Thanks to Brian Smith from the Philadelphia Wings broadcast team and communications department. We've learned that ties a franchise record for goals in a quarter for the Wings. It's their best first quarter ever, and they lead by 4.
And they did a great job. It wasn't just pigeonholed into one area that they were exploiting. It was on the power play, it was from the lefties, it's from Resiteritz on the right side. So San Diego has to shut off a couple different faucets that are being productive for Philadelphia.
Now Resiteritz and Catoni combining to outscore San Diego, the two of them with 5 goals. Catoni a first quarter hat trick. Brendan O'Neill notched his first career goal for the Wings, the 2024 #1 overall pick. Wesley Berg initiating for the Seals. Currier with time and room. Playing 2 ways today as he tries to find Benesh. And DeChico's getting tied up. Here we go. Okay, rookie, let's see what you got.
I love that from a rookie right there. Listen, my team's down. I'm going to set a pick. I may or may not know it's going to get called, and then I'm going to get in the defender's face to give my team the juice that it needs to crawl ourselves out of this hole. So we're going to have some penalty minutes, but expect this to play in favor of San Diego, getting behind the young rookie, getting fired up.
You can make a case here, though. San Diego loses the battle in terms of what they lose to the penalty box. Liam Patton.
Penalty, minor penalty, 2 minutes roughing. San Diego penalty, number 21, 2 minutes roughing.
To finish the thought, Liam Patton for Philadelphia, not the same impact level as Ryan Benesh for San Diego. Now, essentially, you're all rookies plus Zach Currier on the left side.
There's an argument to be made for that, certainly. However, counterpoint, what San Diego needs is that fire, is that, you know, just, I hate to keep using the word momentum, but there's really no other word that fits. And in 4-on-4, San Diego now gives themselves a little bit more space, so it might work in their favor just from a spacing and offensive perspective.
Two-way man Courier off to Hellier. Former Las Vegas captain streaking in and stripped. Excellent defense by Connor Sellers, the 31-year-old righty. The Wings struggling to get it up the floor, but finally clear. Malcolm running point. And Dominy turned away this time as Logan is there to collect the loose ball. Or the McIntosh has it, excuse me.
With Philadelphia just looking good in all aspects of the floor. They are winning the transition battle. Offense, they look good on defense. Very well put together.
DeChico feeds Noakes and a shoulder save for Damoud. If you're just joining us, Philadelphia used a 5-0 run to build an 8-4 lead in the first quarter. This new look retooled Wings offense has been explosive and has punished San Diego every time the Seals have made a mistake. Holden Catoni off to Mitch Jones. Jones, 1 goal in the first quarter. Off to Catoni, who had 3, and they cannot connect. And the shot clock under 5 seconds. Catoni has to get something off. And he hits a pretty good shot away as Jones battling for it. It will come up with San Diego possession as Graydon Bradley collects it. It's a special Saturday edition of NLL Friday Night on TSN. The new look Calgary Roughnecks storm into the nest for a matchup with the Halifax Thunderbirds. It's Roughnecks and Thunderbirds next Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on TSN and ESPN Plus. As San Diego gets one back, it's a 3-goal game. Rob Hellier with his first in purple.
And this is why I was saying that the 4-on-4 is going to be beneficial for San Diego's offense. They are getting space that they haven't been able to get at full strength, and Hellier just takes advantage of it. You have to play a little more conservative on defense, and he says, listen, you're giving me an inch, and I'm going to take a mile. Cranks that shot off. And it might not feel like it, but 3-goal game, certainly manageable from what seemed like a Philadelphia blowout early on.
Well, if there's anything you and I have come to know in the last 3 years of doing games in this building, weird things happen in the old barn in San Diego.
There's a little magic around Pechanga Arena.
Magic or ghosts, it depends on how you look at it.
Maybe the Christmas spirit now that we're past Thanksgiving.
San Diego has pulled themselves back within 3 on a 3-0 run. Courier feeds McIntosh for the quick stick up high over the crossbar.
McIntosh was open a good 2 seconds before that pass was off, and that makes all the difference in the world. San Diego's offense recognizes that he was open earlier. That's probably a goal.
Blaze Reardon playing a 2-man game with Mitch Jones. Jones already with 6 points tonight and a goal and 5 assists. Crawford initiating, looking for space, finds Jones, 10 seconds to shoot. Jones trying to get underneath as Rubish takes it away from him. And the all-time leader in caused turnovers has his first of 2024. A low shot from Benesh, who was back on defense after coming out of the box. McCannell feeding up to Jones, or the Caputo off the bench, I should say. And they're going to get him in the crease.
Boy, we got a back and forth affair right now. Interesting to see Benesh getting caught on defense and getting a shot off.
Hellier circling for San Diego, spins it off to McIntosh, who hums one low. Save was made, so no over and back. San Diego will have it with a fresh shot clock.
Great save by Damoud there. He got his right shin down with lightning speed.
Really came into his own last year. And he is what made them comfortable being able to trade Zach Higgins and get a lot of assets in return. Higgins had a great debut for Ottawa, and the Black Bears win over Toronto. Kind of an everyone wins situation. Hillier, McIntosh on the doorstep, and he misfires. A rare mistake from Ben McIntosh, but Trey Leclerc gets dumped in the corner by Domini, and San Diego gets another reset of the shot clock.
McIntosh doing a great job of getting wide open on the doorstep. Needs to bury those, but if he's going to get consistent looks, that's trouble.
Berg rolling to the net, kicked away. Another reset of the shot clock. Courier and Leclerc up top. Benesh battling for position inside. Here's DeChico. Berg. Back to the rookie. Now Courier circling from behind, and Leclerc's quick stick is denied.
Boy, great job by Damu, quickly going from his left to his right.
Marathon possession. Leclerc. DeChico. Now Berg spins one well wide of the net. Courier still has it with 12 seconds to go. And Berg gets one on and a fresh shot clock. Whew. They're going to change out some of their forwards just to get fresh legs on the floor, but this Wings defense has to be gassed. San Diego needs to convert this into a goal. Benesh. And Damoud makes his biggest save of the day to end what was a waylay of chances for San Diego.
And I understand you want to come right back, but if there's one thing Philadelphia needs right now, it's a break on defense, and here comes a penalty. San Diego dominating the time of possession game in the last 5 minutes.
6-on-5 now for San Diego. Berg running the point. Now Benesh. They got Mitch Jones trapped back on defense at the point. Berg toying with him as Benesh hums it high, and Tutton collects, or the Patton, excuse me, collects.
Philadelphia penalty, illegal substitution. It'll be served by the in-home.
Well, when we come back, San Diego goes to the power play for the first time today. Seals have scored 3 in a row and have a chance to make it a 2-goal game. The NLL is now on the ESPN app. Download the app or visit ESPN.com for the latest news, schedule, and scores. High scoring one here in San Diego. 8-5. The Wings lead the Seals in the second quarter. And Mitch Jones having a great night distributing the rock. A goal and 5 assists already for 6 points. That's the game high. Cooper Perkins, Nick Acello with you. And Nick, 6 points over under your career total.
Oh, that's 6 points over, and you better watch it. I'm not afraid to drop the gloves in the broadcast booth.
The one thing you're good at.
Not even.
Wesley Berg on the power play. Benesh collects it off the board. San Diego's first man up of the game. Hellier up high, and Damoud. Save made. Quickly controlled by Malcolm as he gets it ahead to Domini. Tracks it down. Domini not able to get his second. And a long rebound as Benesh ties him up. Goldbrecht gets it, and he'll race off to get a change.
And it's got to be frustrating for San Diego right now. Everything's being shut down.
Not any longer, as Rob Hellier stings his second, and the Seals have ripped off 4 in a row to make it a 2-goal contest. The only team in the league last year to finish over 50% in both the power play and the penalty kill. Seals have their first power play goal of the season.
Exactly what they needed, which was taking advantage of the 3 men instead of the 4 from Philadelphia. Again, San Diego is going to score when they can operate in space. And when they pushed it up after that bad transition from Philadelphia, finally cracking the day mood code, and we got a 2-goal game.
Logan controls the faceoff for San Diego as Courier will bring it ahead. He's playing as their 4th lefty today. DeChico, Noakes, and Benesh are the 3 lefty forwards. Courier going both ways. And another penalty. 6-on-5 coming for San Diego as O'Reilly, or the Poulin, I should say, sprints up.
Game's getting a little chippy, watch out.
Courier to Berg, down low. Gives it right back, and Berg hits the pipe. They're going to say it was clipped on the way by and did not get it all the way to the net, so no reset of the shot clock, and thus the shot clock violation ends the 6-on-5 and brings up another Seals power play, second in the last 2 minutes.
Philadelphia penalty number 12, 2 minutes roughing.
And I wouldn't be surprised if the chippiness factor that we've kind of seen a couple scrums, a little face wash, hey, how are you, if the refs are going to be calling it a little tighter than they did in the first quarter.
4 vets and a rookie on the floor for San Diego. Berg runs point. He'll switch places with Hellier. Benesh gives it right back to him. Hellier off to Benesh. He's got 2 today. Back to Benesh, and Benny's shot steered away, and another save by Damu denying Berg. Still loose out front, and Adam Noakes is able to get it. Chased around by Tony Malcolm. Home crowd wanted another penalty. Finally, the Seals settle it down, and Hellier down low, saved by Damu, and it's swept into the net. It does not count because you have to control possession. We'll see if we get a challenge here, but you cannot simply bat the ball into the net. Jones burns it up high. What a turnaround. Wesley Berg thought he had a goal for the Seals, and Mitch Jones answers it with a shorty instead.
Oh my goodness, and the Seals faithful really not happy about that. But as we look back at that no goal, you said it, they have to control the ball. And whether or not you agree with the rule, it takes away great plays like that.
It is a correct call, though.
And we'll let you at home decide if that's a good rule or not. But great job by Philadelphia. As soon as the ref was waving no goal, they were flying, trying to push transition. And ultimately, Jones gets a crucial short-handed goal.
Well, that stops the 4-0 run for the Seals.
And my goodness, what a 2-goal swing that was.
Yeah, big one. What a first half for Mitch Jones. He's got 7 points on 2 goals and 5 assists.
And listen, I'm as neutral as it gets with the rule book. I'm just a rule follower by nature. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But that shouldn't be a rule. I love those goals where it's just diving, take a baseball swing, hockey shot. But unfortunately for Wes Berg, no goal.
Let's check in with the third member of our broadcast crew, Morgan Worth.
Yeah, I mean, Mitch Jones, I was talking to him yesterday, and basically one of his keys to the games was not letting Seals runs go on for too long or too far. And if they were able to stop any of their runs quickly and move the momentum in their way, it would have been one of the big keys, along with playing fast, focusing more, and being ready to execute for a full 60 minutes. Those were his keys for the game, and clearly he just stopped a San Diego run and is living through the words he say. Cooper?
Oh, Mitch Jones, a little bit of Nostradamus to him.
Yeah.
Stop, steal, runs, have leads. And his Wings are up 9-6. Whole new look roster for Philadelphia after some big overhaul in the offseason. Logan and Burton back to the dot.
This has the makings, and I'm not going to call it with a lot of confidence, but just one of those slugfests where each team goes on 3-4 goal runs at a time.
I mean, keep it in the back of your mind here. They've played 4 times in history, and all 4 of them have been decided by 2 goals or less, 3 of them by 1 goal. So the Wings and the Seals play close ones. Still a power play for San Diego after the shorty by Jones. Benesh back to Berg, and he gets one right back. First for the captain. And San Diego narrows it back to 2. Just delightful ball movement to watch.
And Benesh has not been afraid to shoot. You see the respect that he gets on his windup, which allows Westberg to operate with space, even though it doesn't look like that's a lot of space. One step away from Westberg is one too many. So many defenders in the NLL have come to know that. So you give Westberg any space at all and the chance to throw a fake before he uncorks his shot, that is going to be incredibly difficult for Damoud to stop, and we are back to a 2-goal game now.
Last 2 seasons, Westberg has ascended into the NLL's elite. Back-to-back 100-point seasons for the first time in his career, and he is the go-to guy in San Diego now. Unquestioned leader of the team. There's a Terrence initiating. He has to turn it back around as Logan comes to push him aside. Katoni spins right into Rubish. Second cause turnover of the day for Kyle Rubish. Seals defense starting to settle down a little bit in the 5-on-5.
And again, the word of the day for San Diego's defense is pressure. Anytime you see a Philadelphia Wings player try to pass it with a Seals defenseman draped all over it, more often than not, that's going to be a turnover. Great defensive possession.
Leclerc shopping around, moves it to Benesh. Deflected pass. McIntosh still able to handle. 2 goals today for Hellier. He has it. And Damoud read it perfectly as Benesh ran out of angle and takes the shot clock reset instead. Noakes circling. His pass swatted away. Still plenty of time for the Seals as Hellier has it, and another delayed penalty. Origlieri going off for a brief 6-on-5. Late man on his Berg. Courier. He lets one rip himself, pops right to Noakes, and Damoud makes a tremendous save right at the shot clock buzzer. Finally, the Wings control it, and the 3rd Seal power play is upcoming.
And I'll tell you one thing, we've seen a number of times where the Seals have gotten 2nd, 3rd, 4th chances. That may pay off now, but it is certainly going to pay off in the 4th quarter when Philadelphia's defense is gassed.
Well, so far, San Diego has picked apart the Wings power play. The only exception,
penalty number 2 minutes, illegal body check.
Only exception being the shorthanded goal by Jones that came off of a disallowed goal by San Diego. What is different about the power play this season as opposed to last for the Seals?
You know, what's interesting is I think they're still figuring it out, but it looks like they are happy with finding a player that has just an inch of space and letting him shoot.
Benesh adds another one. Good call. Give 21 an inch. He'll take a goal right off the board. 3rd for Ryan Benesh in his San Diego Seals debut. And don't look now, it's a 1-goal game.
God, and these elevator shots from Benesh are just so beautiful. He has gone down low to low a number of times, and this is what San Diego's doing so well, is operating with space up top, giving their shooters the green light if they take it. And Benesh has not been afraid to shoot today, and I feel like what he does so well, especially as such a crafty veteran, is teeing up the big goal. He goes low, 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 and then says, if I need to go high, it is automatic. And he decides to make it a 1-goal game.
18 years in the league for Benesh. One of the most beloved guys around the circuit. They lost Adam Noakes, and Damoud saves his defense. Courier and Leclerc battling for it. It'll be Leclerc who comes out of the scrum and shoved up against the boards by Burton. And he draws a penalty. They're going to get Burton for it as Courier comes away with the ball. So a 6-on-5 for San Diego will be disallowed. It'll be a penalty after the under-5 timeout. And another power play coming for San Diego. San Diego heading to the power play with a chance to tie the game here with under 5 to play until halftime. The second annual SEC ACC Challenge begins Tuesday night. These are our featured men's basketball matchups. Number 19, Arkansas and Miami. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. And our ESPN doubleheader has 7th-ranked Tennessee hosting Syracuse in Knoxville at 7:30, followed by number 8, Kentucky and Clemson at Little John Arena.
Great time of year for sports. You got hockey, you got the NLL back this weekend, college football, NFL.
Crossover
one of my favorite
season.
times of year.
Yeah. Far better than June. I think June gets too much love as sports season.
Yeah, just go outside in June.
Power play for the Seals and a chance to tie the game. They once trailed by 6 goals. Berg and Benesh up top. It's Benesh who has 3 and 5 points. Hellier unable to get it on net. No reset of the shot clock. Berg. Now McIntosh retreats. 7 seconds. Benesh hunting for his 4th. Did not get it on cage. And San Diego's just going to dump it into the corner with the shot clock running out.
Sneaky good play by Wes Berg right there to just kind of backhand flick it into the corner. We've seen Philadelphia capitalize in shorthanded transition. So
I think
those
Wesley
little things.
Berg leads the league in people don't notice them plays.
Yep.
Things like that. Great off-ball player, highly underrated, and just now starting to garner the attention he's probably deserved for the last 5 or 6 years.
My old college coach, Coach Kevin Corrigan, called them the invisible plays, things that you might not notice, but if you watch and dive into the film, Wes Berg has big impacts on things that might otherwise just be brushed off.
Rob Hellier and Ben McIntosh in their debut. They play catch up to Berg. Now Benesh, still time on the power play, 42 seconds. Hellier right in the chest to Damoud, and the ball's thrown away. Wesley Berg has it, unsettled chance. Benesh, McIntosh, Damoud saves it. And the Wings have a chance with Mike McCannell, the former Seal, streaking up the floor. McCannell kicked away by Poulin, who controls his own rebound, and the Seals can get one more look on the power play with just under 20 seconds.
Interesting shot choice by McCannell there. He had the chance to kill off the penalty. Big risk.
Noakes with space. McIntosh ties it at 9. The rookie with the field vision as McIntosh nets his second.
And this is what
4 for 4 on the power play. Unreal.
This is what makes them so dangerous. So the previous 3 goals that they've scored have been from shots right where Noakes was. So now the shorthanded unit from Philadelphia has to respect those shots. But as soon as you respect that, it's a game of whack-a-mole. One thing take away, another thing pops right up, and McIntosh ties it up.
Well, San Diego has a chance to take a lead in the game. They trailed by 6 in the first. Logan saved by Damoud. Jones with his 7-point half brings it up. Just 1 goal for the Wings after tying a franchise record with 8 goals in the first quarter. Crawford off the Reciteres. He's got a pair. Now O'Neal scored his first career goal earlier and hums a bouncer wide. And a long rebound that he wins back. Crawford by himself. And the pipe saves the Seals. Great play by O'Neal to control the rebound and find Crawford with 4 seconds on the shot clock.
And that's an unbelievable play by O'Neal. I know we're just going to keep going on and on about him, but plays like that, not many people are going to make.
Hellier twists it home and the Seals lead. A tale of 2 quarters. 6 in the second for San Diego. And the home fans love what they're seeing.
And this is what we were talking about earlier. Who's going to be the companion of Wes Berg on that right side, because they are going to get opportunities like that all day long. Hellier sets a great pick. Wes Berg commands that respect, and with a little flick of the wrist behind the back pass, Hellier with a 1-on-none, and everything is going San Diego's way.
Rob Hellier with his 3rd of the first half, looking a lot like his 2016 self, who scored 45 for the Toronto Rock. First lead for the Seals since they went up 1-0 early in the first quarter. Philadelphia has led by as many as 6. Their offense has gone quiet. Just the one shorthanded goal here in the second. Resiteritz to Jones. Nice save by Poulin. He came on in relief of O'Riglieri and has played well.
And let's not forget, I mentioned it earlier, but San Diego's getting a lot of opportunities, I believe, because of their extended possessions that now have the Philadelphia defense a little more tired than they normally would be in the first half.
Final minute. McIntosh gets another one for San Diego. 3 Seals making their debuts. 3 hat tricks. Ryan Benesh, Ben McIntosh, and Rob Hellier. What a start for this Seals offense.
And again, you just see the patience from McIntosh here. He takes a trip around the entire top of the floor right there and just waits until he has a bit of a lane. Great job by San Diego to get out of his way, and that's what was missing from San Diego's offense early, was that spacing and clearing out so that the shooters can shoot. And McIntosh, one of the best shooters on the floor. Everything going right for San Diego.
Highest scoring game of the weekend so far involved 26 goals between Rochester and Las Vegas. We've got 20, and we're not even at halftime yet. Domini racing down the near side, has help. And Resiteritz turned away. One last possession for San Diego as Patrick Merrill calls timeout.
And what a great job by Mike Poulin. I mean, you talk about O'Riglieri being one of the young stars, and that's certainly true. But to have a veteran presence of a guy who's played enough games to come in, not be rattled by anything, and to make great saves consistently, invaluable to have a guy like that on your roster.
A remarkable turnaround after a sluggish first quarter for San Diego. They flipped the script, outscored 8-4 in the first, up 7-1 in the second here. How much can you attribute their offensive explosion to simply playing better within their system as opposed to the Wings starting to break down?
You know, I think it starts, as every youth, high school, college, and pro coach will tell you over and over again, it starts with the little things. And I really think that this is the sum of the effort on the 50-50 loose balls that we saw starting from the first face-off of the game and now coming to fruition in the second quarter. It's those second chances that are opening up spots that Philadelphia's defense was previously shutting down. So I don't think it's anything about getting comfortable with their system, about getting hot sticks. I think it's just a matter of making sure that you play scrappy so that you have the opportunities that San Diego has gotten in the second quarter.
San Diego will have the ball with just under 23 seconds left. They can empty their net and go 6-on-5. Benesh will trot it up. He has a hat trick, as do Ben McIntosh and Rob Hellier. Courier, Noakes, Berg, Leclerc, and McIntosh join Benesh on the floor. Courier circling, off to Leclerc, back to Courier. Leclerc, big save right at the buzzer, and this one is not going to get there in time, even if it was on cage. But Philadelphia's defense gets a stop at the end of the half. San Diego scores 5 goals in 9 of the last 11 to come back from a 8-2 deficit.
Boy, what an improvement from San Diego's offense. That first quarter, they were getting in each other's way. And to go back to that word spacing, they were putting on a clinic in that second quarter.
We told you about all the fresh faces competing today for the Seals and the Wings. One of them kind of electrified San Diego. He has a hat trick in his first game in purple. Ryan Benesh, the veteran, down on the floor with Morgan Wirth.
Thank you, Cooper. Ryan, you guys were down 5 at one point in this game. Now you're up 2. How were you guys able to climb out of that hole?
Just believe in ourselves, right? Obviously, it wasn't really the start that we wanted, but, you know, we didn't panic. We stuck to their game plan, and so far it's working out for us.
It certainly is. And what adjustments do you think you guys are going to make coming into the second half to ensure that the momentum stays in your favor?
Not many. Honestly, not many. Just, you know, play our game, play our principles, and hopefully, you know, we'll come out with a W.
Thank you so much. Good luck. Guys?
Thank you, Morgan. Well, an electric first half of lacrosse in San Diego. The home Seals take a 2-goal lead into the break. We'll have halftime coverage coming up shortly as you're watching the NLL on ESPN. Joe Buck and Troy Aikman will be in the Mile High City for a Week 13 Monday Night Football matchup. Miles Garrett, Jameis Winston, and the Browns take on Bo Nix, Patrick Surtain, and the 7-5 Broncos. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN and ESPN Deportes. The city of Denver, most notable as your home city.
Home city and some Westberg, Zach Courier Outlaws connections.
Debut in white for the Wings for Nick Damoud, and the score might not reflect it, but he's made some pretty difficult saves. He's now notched 2,000 in his career, and Nick, kind of a tale of two quarters for him. Played really well in that opening quarter, not quite as well in the second quarter. What do you make of Nick Damoud thus far?
That first quarter he was dialed in. Second quarter, I feel like sometimes his defense left him out to dry. So look for him to be the rallying point for their defense to have a better second half.
A lot of rookies in action around the league. One of, if not the most notable, #1 overall pick in 2024, Brennan O'Neill, debuting tonight for the Wings. Scored a goal, has an assist as well. Boy, what have you seen from him? He's been very middle of the floor heavy. You can see the explosiveness. There's his first goal. How do you assess Brennan O'Neill?
I've been impressed with his decisions to not shoot. I feel like sometimes he kind of gets those eyes, whether his momentum's not taking him to the right area of the floor. So it's that maturity of not letting his eyes get a little bit bigger than his stomach and having a stat line of 9 shots, 1 goal. So I like that maturity, and let's not forget he almost had the assist of the weekend.
Now, he is certainly a talking point around the league and an exciting young talent. There are a lot of them. Last night, Dyson Williams, the 2023 #1 overall pick, had his first career goal for the Albany Firewolves. Different players, right? Dyson, everyone's known about him since he was a little kid. His dad, Sean, is an excellent NLL player and a coach in Las Vegas currently. Playing different roles, right? Williams steps into an Albany offense that already has a #1 guy in Alex Simmons, but he's going to add quite a bit with the skill set he has in tight around the net.
And it's going to be great to have him develop those off-ball skills. We know what he can do with the ball on his stick, but to play on kind of that mature Albany offense, I think it's going to benefit him certainly in the long run. And let's not forget how much fun it was to watch him and Brendan O'Neill play together at Duke for 3 years.
Scores around the league and a couple of statements made. Ottawa with a thrashing of Toronto on opening night, and Saskatchewan upsetting Albany in overtime. Colorado a big comeback against Vancouver. Same year, different story, or it's different year, same story, same Barbie, different outfit. Colorado in big comebacks against Vancouver. What is it about that matchup?
I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine. But that's one of those games where anytime I see Colorado down 5 goals, you just think to yourself, just wait, it's going to happen, it's inevitable. And sure enough, Colorado up 11. But welcome to the league, Ottawa. I mean, Toronto, a perennial powerhouse, getting more than doubled up. Should be fun to watch them as they progress through their first year in the NLL.
Yeah, Ottawa had a couple of tremendous debuts. Zach Higgins making his first start in net. And Jacob Dunbar, the former San Diego Seal, making his debut with 6 points and a hat trick. We'll be back with more halftime coverage from San Diego. Seals on top of the Wings by 2. Time coverage here in San Diego as the Seals come from behind to take a lead on the Wings. It was a tale of 2 quarters. Philadelphia's offense exploded in the first, matching a franchise record with 8 goals. They led by 4, but San Diego. Ryan Manesh got them on the board early. First in purple for Benny. More than 550 in his career. He's got 3 more in the first half. But Holden Catoni kicked off what was an excellent first quarter for him. He stings the high corner, and that started off a run of 5 consecutive goals for the Wings. The scoring just came from everywhere. Mitch Jones was up next, and then Brendan O'Neill gets his first. I think what stood out early, Nick, is just the balance in scoring for Philadelphia. So many different faces.
Everything was clicking. They were doing a great job pushing in transition, and they kind of caught San Diego on their heels, especially as the San Diego defense was getting set, as we see Resetarits work beautifully with limited space.
Benesh finally snapped that 5-0 streak with his second of the game. That made it 5-2. But Scott Dominy in transition. He is a threat and shows why he's the weapon he is. Beats the goaltender. That knocked Chris Aurelieri out of the game. He was replaced by Mike Poulin and just kept growing. 7-2 at one point for the Wings. San Diego fought all the way back, and it really was jump-started on this play. Trent DeChico forced the turnover, and then Zach Currier straight to the barn. Puts it in himself.
And I feel like that goal was really the spark, because it wasn't just a standard offensive goal. It was a great ride. Zach Currier getting his first, McIntosh joining the party. And I really feel like things started to click from all angles, especially on the 50-50 loose balls after that one.
After that Catoni goal, San Diego scored 7 of the next 8 to round out the half. Rob Hellier getting his scoring touch going. Really notable difference for him. He was a distributor the last couple of years as the captain in Las Vegas. Not having the ball in his stick a whole lot today, but he has been tremendously productive with 3 goals.
And let's not forget that Philadelphia has kind of bit themselves playing with fire and getting burned because they just couldn't stay out of the penalty box, even though they got a great shorthanded goal after a Wes Berg batted shot in was disallowed. But it just really allowed the San Diego offense to get comfortable. Nothing will allow you to work in space more than being men up, and I feel like that kind of resonated even when they were even strength or on the power play. It just allowed San Diego's offense to take a breath and get into a good rhythm, and it's why they're up 2 goals.
McIntosh tied the game at 9 on his second of the game and the 4th power play of the second quarter for San Diego. Hellier would add another one to give San Diego their first lead since it was 1-0, and then for good measure, McIntosh finishes off the first half hat trick. He sweeps across and gets his 3rd. Seals take an 11-9 lead into the break after trailing 7-2 in the first. Take a look at the stats. Pretty even in most areas outside of loose balls and shots on goal. And Nick, that's significant because like you said early in this game, it felt like San Diego was winning a lot of the plays that you don't see. And that shows up in the loose ball count. 49-30 is a pretty significant difference, and that's led to a lot more shots on goal.
Whether it's Zach Currier getting it off the face-off, whether it's Trey Leclaire or Wes Berg scrapping in the corners, those 2 stats are directly attached at the hip. And again, I feel like the big impact it's going to have on this game is the wear and tear on Philadelphia's defense. I don't care how well conditioned you are, a 4-minute possession is tough for anybody.
Second annual SEC ACC Challenge begins Tuesday night. These are our featured men's basketball matchups. Number 19, Arkansas and Miami. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. And our ESPN doubleheader has 7th-ranked Tennessee hosting Syracuse in Knoxville at 7:30, followed by number 8, Kentucky and Clemson at Little John Arena. Halftime in San Diego. Seals battle back from a 5-goal deficit to take a 2-goal lead into the break. Start of the 3rd when we come back.
This isn't just a game, it's a way of life.
on the camera above? Welcome back to Pechanga Arena. I just caught up with Philadelphia Wings head coach Ian Rubel. Coming into the season, his goal was to have a heightened compete level, a bigger energy when approaching the floor. So when he looks at that first half, he said he loved the team on offense, but acknowledged they didn't really get the ball all of that much. And he said they need to do a better job in transition. They're not valuing the ball in transition. So Cooper and Nick, be on the lookout for those adjustments there.
Thank you, Morgan. Logan and Burton facing it off. Burton wins the clamp, and Philadelphia has the first possession of the second half. Tail of 2 quarters here in San Diego. Wings outscored the Seals 8-4 in the first. San Diego flipped the script in the second, outscoring them 7-1.
Tale as old as time. Coach, what's the adjustment? Get the ball more. Love it.
Crawford defended by Gamble. Has a size advantage on him. Feeds into the middle for Reardon, who has been uncharacteristically quiet tonight, as Kyle Rubish takes it away and works it up the floor to Gamble.
Bit of confusion there from Philadelphia's offense. Looks like they were clearing out to isolate Callum Crawford with a one-on-one, but he force feeds it to Reardon, who I don't think was quite expecting it.
Right hand heavy for San Diego. 3 righties, 2 lefties. Feeding Hellier. Denied his 4th of the game, twisting it on net. And the Wings battling for possession up against the boards. Push will give the ball to Philadelphia.
Still getting a little chippy. Those loose ball scrums. Little, hey, how you doing?
Wings have not scored a 5-on-5 goal since the first quarter. Only goal in the second came on a shorthanded goal by Mitch Jones in transition. Here's Jones drawing a penalty. And a very excited Matt Wright will have to come back, realizing that the penalty is called and the play is dead.
Good defense by San Diego again, kind of going back to that pressure as we go down for the call real quick.
San Diego, number 2, minor penalty. Hold it.
But again, even though that's a penalty, they're doing a good job, or at least a much better job than they were doing in the first quarter, on not allowing Philadelphia to operate with space, particularly across those left-handed sweeping dodges.
Wings have struck quick on the power play today. 2 power plays, 24 total seconds, and 2 goals to show for it. Jones to Gattoni, down low to Reardon. Back up to Jones, hums it high and wide, and Bradley collects it off the boards. Already San Diego doing better on the power play. They're on the penalty kill, excuse me, power short, right?
Power short.
They'll kill some time. This has been a dangerous area for Seals opponents the last couple of years, but a lot of new faces changed the equation a bit. Scored a ton of shorthanded goals the last 3 seasons. Zach Courier throws it right at Damu's feet in a crafty move to try and get a fresh shot clock, but he's not able to get possession back as Isaiah Davis-Allen works it ahead to Jones.
And that might be a little bit of a shift. They might score less when short-handed, but you got a guy like Zach Courier who very well might kill an entire minute with crafty moves like that.
Jones, Dressiteritz, big time save between the pipes for Poland. Did not start the game, but he's given the Seals a big boost. And to your point about scoring less on the shorthanded unit, it kind of got to a weird point almost where there was an expectation that the shorthand unit was kind of a part of the offense you come to expect from San Diego. Much different this year.
Well, and Seals fans just got so lucky the last 3 years, particularly with Curtis Dixon. You know, when your team gets a penalty, that's usually a time maybe go hit the restroom, refill your popcorn. Not at Pechanga Arena, but you know, who knows? Again, a guy like Zach Courier, he is as crafty as they come.
Final 20 seconds of the power play for the Wings. 2-goal deficit, their largest of the contest. San Diego trailed by 5 in the first quarter. Jones circling off to Dressiteritz, back to Jones. Deflected, and an excellent play by Eli Gobrecht. Caputo rolling underneath, and he gets it to go.
Wow.
Phil Caputo, who has been a Seal killer in his career, diving into the crease, nets it with 1 second left on the power play.
Boy, not how Philadelphia drew it up, but a sigh of relief to get back on the board. here in the second half. And this is just a great angle because as he's falling down, momentum and physics will just tell you, well, he has to go far side with it, as we see Poulin maintaining his angle. So that's just an unbelievable shot to sneak it in that top left corner.
Well, Phil Caputo did a lot of that in this building before joining the Wings. Same story, just some different laundry for him tonight. 11-10 early in the third quarter. Brendan O'Neill, the rookie, brings it up. He scored his first career goal in the first quarter. Callum Crawford has not scored today. Now Joe Resiteritz feeding down low, and Reardon ties it up. Back-to-back goals for the Wings.
And that's how they drew it up. One of the difficulties that Philadelphia's offense was experiencing, certainly in the second quarter, was that they weren't getting to the dangerous areas of the floor and having to rely on outside shots. So Resiteritz does a great job of almost pretending to initiate while keeping his eyes up. And young players, if you're watching, when a guy as good and as big as Blaze Reardon makes a cut, if you're a step behind him, you are 100% out of position. So good job by Reardon to get a cut, and welcome back to the net, Chris Origlieri.
Origlieri, a finalist for the league's goaltender of the year last season, returns to the game after he was pulled. Blaze Reardon with his first goal of the season. Such a fun story. Lacrosse fans know it well. Maybe the best goalie in the field game. Played at Albany. Finally broke into the NLL with Buffalo after a tryout and caught on with the Wings, has ascended to become their captain. DeChico might have gotten the pipe on that one as Berg wins possession. Shrugged off Patton, now DeChico. Far side for Hellier. San Diego trying to stop a 2-0 Wings run to open the second half. Seals scored 7 times in the second quarter. Hellier, still 14 seconds on the shot clock. Pass deflected and a turnover. Great work by the defense from Philadelphia as Jordan Sturis is able to get it up front. Join in on the fun with NLL's all-new fantasy game platform, NLL Pickup, with access to weekly and monthly prizes. Play today at NLL.com. The Wings have a chance to take the lead back. Resiteritz. Jones. Long loose ball. Fresh shot clock for Philadelphia. Crawford has Leclerc on him, now works it back over to Catoni. 3 in the first, none in the second for Catoni. Jones dispossessed by Bradley. The two of them battle for it, and San Diego is going to get out of trouble. Jesse Gamble trots it across the center line.
Great job by Bradley right there. And he's just been so consistent in his improvement year over year. And he's become a real valuable asset for that San Diego defense.
While the faces are largely different for this San Diego offense, Ryan Benesh, his 4th. And the Seals have the lead once again. Well, right on time, was just going to say, with all the new faces, the one thing hasn't changed. San Diego's offense, super explosive at home.
And they're just moving with such purpose right now. We see that pass down to McIntosh. He knows he has time to shop. And as soon as Benesh flashes his stick, he just gets wide open. Those left-handed players for San Diego's offense doing a much better job of moving off ball and getting open so that the right-handed players are racking up assists, left-handed players are racking up goals. Exactly what you want to see. And Zach Currier just doing what only he can do. I don't know how many loose balls he has, but it is up there.
Currier works it over to McIntosh. This shot is soaked up out front. DeChico wins the loose ball. And this time it's the Wings who are going to have it. Liam Patton. San Diego outdoing Philadelphia by 19 in the loose ball battle. And now here comes Currier once again. What looked like it might turn into a blowout early has become a back and forth seesaw kind of game.
Boy, one thing about Zach Currier, he just logs minutes. He's been on the floor for an extended period of time.
Hellier got Damu to drop down and kicked off his shoulder. Stayed in play though. Fresh shot clock for San Diego. McIntosh to Hellier, around to Benesh. Game's leading scorer with 4 goals. Domini with his head turned deflects the pass and takes it away. He's dangerous in transition. And Origlieri gets the better of him that time. Domini can't get his second.
Great job right there, though. Even with his back turned to the ball, he had his head on a swivel, was able to knock down that pass and turn it into an opportunity, but Origlieri denies him.
Seals
watch out.
4 goals per game better at home than on the road. That's holding up a season later. Hellier, one of 3 Seals with a hat trick in the first half. Wesley Berg steered into the corner. And they're going to get the Seals for an obvious loose ball push on Adam Noakes, and now stirring it up a little bit. Noakes and Burton. It'll be Philadelphia ball. No penalties assessed. 7:47 to go in the third quarter. San Diego on top of Philadelphia, 12-11 in a barn burner developing on NLL face-off weekend. Don't miss any of the action this season. Head to NLL.com/tickets and get yourself front row seats to your favorite NLL team. All the big hits, highlight reel goals, and star-studded matchup. That's NLL.com/tickets. One of the big stories coming in, the debut of 2024 #1 overall pick Brennan O'Neill. Scored his first career goal in the first quarter, has a couple assists to go along with it. But Nick, I think what stands out, the 1 goal on just 2 shots. He has not been a volume guy. He seems to really understand what his role is on this team with guys like Mitch Jones, Joe Resiteritz, and Holden Katoni.
And it'll improve over the course of his career and certainly the course of this season, because he's such a big body that he'll be very valuable in setting picks, getting his teammates open. So little rustiness, little figuring out to do for the rookie, but certainly bright things ahead.
Resiteritz up high, save Origlieri. Good look for Philadelphia on a defensive breakdown that time. Slow break, Gamble. High shot up into the net as he wipes out after the play.
Boy, and great job by Danny Logan and Eli Gobrick. They saw that they had a 3-on-2 and just assumed the fullback position, letting Gamble get a shot off.
Here's O'Neill. Defended by Drew Belgrade. Big time size advantage for O'Neill in that one. He's going to try and push him around down low. Now sets a screen for Jones. Rolls to the net. O'Neill unable to get it on. Up into the net, San Diego ball. But a great effort possession for Brendan O'Neill that time.
Good set pick, and even though they look, because of the skill set of the guys on the floor, it looks like a routine catch. That is not easy to go across your body, reel it back in, and get a shot off.
Wesley Berg running the point. Rob Hellier, 6-point game in his debut for San Diego. His shot skips off Sturris and out of play. San Diego will have it with a fresh 30 seconds.
Good job by Philadelphia's defense getting on the hands of the Seals players as they're making passes, not giving them time to shop around for the right assist.
Berg circling, shooting, and Damu makes the save as it squirts right to Liam Patton. Well, both defenses looking far better in the first 9 minutes of this third quarter than the first 30. 20 total goals in the first half. O'Neal isolates on Bradley. Wins top side. Bradley corrects. O'Neal underneath. Twisting that time. Resetiritz off the shin of O'Reilly. Not right. The rookie making his debut has the Lucy.
And it's a bit of a long play to isolate Brendan O'Neal. Even though he might not be able to consistently score those in the first game of his NLL career, the more game reps he gets, the better and better he's going to get.
Shot clock winding under 10. McIntosh up to Bird. LeClaire gives it right back to Bird, trying to find some room, finds a lane, and it's swallowed up by Tony Malcolm. Malcolm up ahead. And look at that, Scott Dominy with his second in transition. Tied up at a dozen as Dominy delivers for Philadelphia.
And what a play by Malcolm right there, not just to get in the shooting lane of Westberg's shot, but to catch it and snatch it right out of the air, which always in turn means dangerous transition opportunities. And watch out, just a little scrappiness with the Riglieri right there, but his second of the game as Dominy just does a fantastic job with the pure speed to create opportunities for the men in white.
Dominy, 4 goals last year in his debut season with Philadelphia. Has landed in that 3-team trade with New York and San Diego that moved a lot of pieces around the league. Dominy halfway to his scoring total already. 2 goals tonight in his season debut. NLL face-off weekend, Seals and Wings, the finale of what has been an excellent slate of games.
The Zach Currier difference. I was waiting for that over the head. He does it better than anybody in the league. A turnover, a loose ball, a scoring machine. The Swiss Army knife, Zach Currier, making his presence felt in his first game as a Seal.
Tied for the 3rd time today. Adam Noakes around to Hellier. San Diego trying to reclaim the lead. And Hellier has his shot bounce wide. No reset. Oh, they do give him a reset of the shot clock. See, it was grazed by Damu. Noakes working the lefty side with Benesh. Noakes has his first career tally. Tiptoeing through space as Adam Noakes sending kisses back to Coquitlam.
A veteran eye expressed by Noakes right there. Unbelievable, as he had 2 separate picks to work with. As we see, the first one goes underneath, second one beats his man with the stick fake, and by the time he gets to his 3rd man, he's already on the doorstep where he just sneaks it right around Damoud. Noakes, welcome to the party. What a goal.
Well, San Diego showing so much trust in Noakes this year. Along with Benesh, he's been the mainstay on the left side. He's their second lefty on the power play. A goal and 3 assists in his first NLL game after being on the practice squad last year. You understand why they've come to trust him so much.
And you talk to head coach Patrick Merrill, he is there every practice. He's seeing what we're not seeing, and he was very bullish on Noakes last year, saying just wait, and now he has arrived.
Benesh already with 4. Make it 5 for Benny. Ryan Benesh puts the Seals back up 2. Benny in the nets, getting acquainted here in San Diego.
I hate that I like that, but I'll save the chirp for a different day. Benesh just doing such a good job of finding and understanding the space that he has to operate with. He even looked at Noakes and was almost waiting for a cut when he realized that he had the time and space. As soon as he recognized it, the shot was out of his stick, and if there's anything we've learned from game 1, it's you do not want Benesh to have his time, his room, and his eyes, because that is going to be a goal every time.
Talk about turning back the clock, too. I mean, the guy is a few months short of his 40th birthday. He scored his first 40-goal season since 2015 last year, and he's got 5 in his Seals debut here with 3.5 left in the 3rd. From the outside, Resetarits kicked away by O'Riglieri. He has settled down after re-entering. Mike Poulin gave him a break for about 15 minutes of game time and did a nice job in his place.
And one other note about Benesh, you're going to be hard-pressed to find a guy who is more well-liked than Ryan Benesh.
Hellier, save made.
That shot might have been a bit of a heat check by Hellier to maintain this momentum. Sometimes patience is the key, as Damoud was able to pretty easily stop that shot.
The Wings haven't trailed by more than 2 in this game. Could cut it back to 1. As O'Neal tied up behind the net, and he's greeted by Graydon Bradley.
Good job playing a little soccer, little Neymar, Messi.
So it will be Philadelphia ball as the Seals open up a 2-goal lead. Ryan Benesh with 5 in his debut. 2:34 to go in the third.
Welcome back to Pechanga Arena. At just 18 years old, San Diego's Rob Hellier joined the National Lacrosse League playing for the Toronto Rock and joined a team of veterans, one of which was San Diego head coach Patrick Merrill. The team went on to win the NLL championship that same year, and the duo played together for a total of 6 seasons on the Rock. Fast forward 13, almost 14 years, Hellier and Merrill are on the same team yet again in different roles, but chasing that same goal of hoisting the trophy one more time. I was talking to Rob before the game. He said the reason why he came to San Diego was because of Pat Merrill. He's close with him. He wanted to play for him. And he knows that this team is closer to a championship than some of the ones he was on previously. And he knows he has only a few more years left in the tank. And plus, he's living in San Diego. So he said it really doesn't get much better than this. Cooper?
Thank you, Morgan. All kinds of connections around the NLL. I mean, you really do get that with coaches and players. Here's Eli Gobrecht. Big shot, it falls. It's Sunday, but the bank is open for Gobrecht. San Diego up 3.
As he was winding up, I was wondering, Gobrecht, where are you going to shoot this? Goes far side and with a little dink off the pipe. Oh, it was actually off the back of Damoud's stick. A little assist from the goaltender, and Eli Gobrecht gets on the scoreboard. And I made the point about Graydon Bradley earlier, but the growth and the consistency in which Eli Gobrecht gets better year over year. We saw him taking face-offs last year, scoring goals, and now not only is he a staple and an anchor of a very good San Diego defensive unit, but he's a threat in transition as well.
He's important for them, and it's great to see him healthy again. He missed 8 games last year with an upper body injury. Undrafted, invited to camp in 2020, made the team, and then has just stuck. Eli Gobrecht has become a mainstay in San Diego.
The pride of Ithaca, New York, Eli Gobrecht.
Now the Wings looking at a 3-goal deficit for the first time. They led by 5 in the first quarter, but it's all slipped away. Can O'Neal ignite a spark? To Resetarits. Rubish comes way up high on Jones, and Reardon doesn't like it. Kellen LeClaire comes in. I think you know a thing or two about fighting Blaze Reardon.
Hey, Blaze Reardon can take a punch, but if he suplexes, you get ready to touch the moon and come back. It looks like Rubish just went for a cross-check at the shoulder, and that's why it's so difficult sometimes for defenders. You go to cross-check the shoulder, whoever's holding the ball ducks just a foot, and all of a sudden you're getting him up high.
There will be a penalty against Rubish, and a power play upcoming for Philadelphia. They've been a perfect 3 for 3 on power plays in this game.
San Diego, number 4, a major penalty for high sticking.
Oh boy.
Subject to league review.
They're going to review this one, as is per the rule book. It can be reduced to a minor, but for the time being, Rubish is looking at 5 minutes in the box. And right when Philadelphia needed some kind of spark to keep this game from slipping away from them, they may get it in the form of a major penalty.
Yeah, and as we go back, we see just an attempt at a cross-check. And watch how it's looking like he's aiming for that shoulder, and then it kind of glides up his arm. Now, granted, that cross-check is a little high to begin with, but certainly wasn't going to be up in the chin area. But that's another thing, is the angle of the shoulder kind of guides the cross-check right up to the chin. I don't think there was as much malice as it might appear upon contact. As we go back for another replay, that ball is coming from the rafters all the way down. And even that point of frustration that you see from Rubish right there, like, ugh, I didn't mean to. So I don't think there was malice, but don't tell Reardon that.
Any way you slice it, the Wings are going to have an opportunity on the power play here. And Nick, this is such an important sequence upcoming. Just over 90 seconds left in the third quarter. The Wings have struggled offensively since the first, when they put in 8 of their 12 goals. This is the moment that they need to capitalize upon.
And just like we were talking about San Diego using the power play to kind of settle into their offensive rhythm, I think Philadelphia has a chance to get back as we go in for the call here.
The major penalty is upheld. 5 minutes for high sticking.
5 minutes. This is huge for Philadelphia. And again, it's a chance for their offense to settle in, do what they do well.
And keep in mind, Kyle Rubish is their best penalty killer. So not only do you have a short man unit on the floor for potentially 5 minutes or 2 goals, whichever comes first, this is a Seals defense that has to play without its best defender.
And as we get one more look, yeah, you know, those shots to the head are so dangerous. No messing around with those.
Caputo, Resiteritz, Jones, Catoni, and Reardon for the Wings. It's Jones who drew the penalty. Resiteritz trying to tuck it near side as Courier climbs the ladder and gets it ahead to Logan. Little toe drag, and Logan looking for a shorthander, but a big save by Damoud.
And one of the things that has me scratching my bald head a little bit about Philadelphia is they can't really decide which way they want to utilize their picks, ultimately resulting in ineffective movement.
5-minute major penalty. Jones has to go track it down. The shot clock ticking at 7 seconds. Catoni had 3 in the first quarter. Caputo can't get it past O'Reilly. That might have got him up high.
Up high or down low?
Somewhere that hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, this penalty will leak well into the fourth quarter, as we're under a minute to go in the third. San Diego has built their largest lead of the game. 27 goals between the two teams, already the highest scoring game of NLL face-off weekend.
Don't be surprised if Philadelphia tries to push transition as soon as they get possession back.
Wesley Berg under 10 seconds on the shot clock. Adam Noakes, the rookie, backs into a triple team and is dispossessed in the corner as the shot clock hits 0. The Wings will have it. Shot clock off, 13 seconds to go. Jones to Resiteritz. Caputo gets a shot in the back from right. A legal hit and a well-timed hit by Wright to prevent any kind of shot attempt by Caputo at the buzzer. San Diego opens up a 3-goal lead in the third quarter, but the Wings have a big chance on the power play when we start the fourth. You're watching NLL Face-Off Weekend on ESPN. Catch Brendan O'Neill, Mitch Jones, and the new look Wings at their home opener on Saturday, December 14th at 6 p.m. Get your tickets at wingslax.com today. Jones, a 7-point game, all of them in the first half, as San Diego shut him out in the third. Seals trailed by as many as 5 in the first quarter, but have built a 3-goal lead going into the fourth, with the Wings having 3 minutes and 23 seconds of power play time with Kyle Rubisch in the box for a 5-minute major. They can score up to 2 goals before the penalty is released. Rubisch has to serve the last 3.5 minutes no matter what. Now Jones will bring it into the offensive third for the Wings. Offense has dried up since the first quarter when they scored 8 of their 12, matching a franchise record. Catoni saved, and Courier's there. Rather, Bradley, excuse me.
I don't mind that shot. Catoni certainly had the hot stick in the first half, and he had space. Honestly, that's the best shot I've seen from Philadelphia's power play so far.
And Catoni scored all 3 of his goals in the opening 15 minutes. San Diego exploded in the second. Here's to Chico, quick-footed rookie. Leclerc steps into one and stings the high cheese. Oh man, that was a rocket.
Trey Leclerc shoots it as hard as anybody in the league. This is going to be a great angle. Oh my goodness. That top right corner is obliterated, and that ball is absolutely humming, and that's the Trey Leclerc difference. He makes an impact all over the floor, but seemingly in big moments, when he gets his feet set, he can just find those corners. And what was supposed to be a huge moment for Philadelphia has been an absolute backbreaker by the hands of Trey Leclerc.
Not only have they not scored on the first half of this 5-minute major power play, they've now conceded a shorthanded goal, each team with a shorty so far. See if Jones and Resetaritz can answer it. Here's Jones, Catoni, Origlieri makes the save, as Reardon keeps it alive for the Wings. Resetaritz, another save, Reardon stripped by Belgrave on what may have been a goal-saving sequence.
And to me, there's just an interesting lack of urgency almost from Philadelphia. They're not moving the ball as quickly as they were in the first quarter. And this is a time when they need to do it as much as ever. As we go back to that sequence by Belgrave, great job getting the stick to Reardon's hands, but watch out, we got another San Diego player heading to the box.
Yeah, Kellen Leclerc's going in. So is Phil Caputo. So we're going to play 5-on-4.
Philadelphia 16, minor penalty, dead ball contact. San Diego 52, minor penalty, slashing. 5-on-4, nothing up on the clock. 5-on-4.
So the penalties cancel out. Still just the 5-minute major for Kyle Rubisch factoring into things. Wings have not scored through the first 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Still a minute 54 on it. San Diego has notched a shorty to build their largest lead of the game. They've gone from trailing by 5 in the first to leading by 4 in the fourth.
And the adjustments San Diego has made have been very impressive, particularly in shutting down any transition opportunities for Philadelphia. So even expect in the last 10 seconds or so of this shot clock, get their defensive personnel on and don't let Philadelphia get any of that transition momentum.
Closing seconds of the shot clock as Noakes just throws it at the cage. Seals do a good job to work it down to a minute 22 on the power play. Pace to a streaking Resetaritz, and Origlieri has turned into a brick wall before our eyes. A porous first quarter, but they have not solved him since he re-entered the game.
And what's impressing me is he's making a variety of saves from out deep, from in close, up high, down low. He's standing tall to all of them.
Hidden ball trick, fooled the Wings just for a moment as Courier now gets it back, working with Benesh. Still 5-on-4. Wesley Bird. Isaiah Davis-Allen wins it for the Wings. 40 seconds to go on the 5-minute major. The Wings haven't been able to capitalize at all. They've got a -1. on a 5-minute major to Kyle Rubish, San Diego's best penalty killer. Behind the net, back up to Catoni. He circles to the point. Jones feeding Reardon. They cannot connect. Still 4 seconds. Jones, Crawford, and they ran out of time on the shot clock. San Diego is going to kill off all 5 minutes of the major penalty without allowing a goal. Tremendous work by their short man unit.
And just a disjointed effort from Philadelphia's power play right there, as we are now officially back to even, but
oh, not for long in the illegal substitution penalty.
Here we go again. We'll go down for the call.
San Diego minor penalty, illegal substitution.
And again, in the effort to prevent transition, that's what you have to avoid. Saying, hey, let's not give them any momentum by taking away their right to push. But it can come back to bite you in the illegal substitution. And really, the biggest difference between first quarter Philadelphia and what we've seen since has been the urgency with which they move the ball. Even on these power play opportunities, it seems to be 1/1000 before they make that pass instead of split-second movement.
The Wings get a mulligan after wasting the 5-minute major. Catoni right into the gut of O'Riglieri. Rubish with some fresh legs works it ahead to Logan. San Diego trying to kill off 7 consecutive minutes of 5-on-4 time while building a 4-goal lead in the process. They did score a shorthander on the major penalty. It's been a great night for special teams for the Seals. The only blemish, a couple of early power play goals for the Wings, as Benesh looking for a sock trick has it turned away.
And even though those shots are from deep, I'm surprised that Philadelphia is packing it in a little bit tighter.
Rubish cuts off Jones as O'Riglieri is there. Pile up against the boards. 3-on-2. Malcolm and Jones battling for the Wings. Courier creeping around the back, waiting for the ball to pop out.
And San Diego has no problem with just...
Yeah, the shot clock's already at 3 seconds. This is going to run out. It's all a formality, but Courier picks up a loose ball to pad the stats a little bit. Double figures for him today. As we leak under 10 minutes to go in regulation, San Diego starting to have an ally in the clock. They lead by 4. McIntosh. Deflected shot, soaked up out front by Dominic. Wings got to get something going. Still 10 seconds on their power play. One last look for Crawford, just ahead of the power play's expiration, and the Wings get a desperately needed marker. First of the year for Callum Crawford.
And that's just the veteran presence of Callum Crawford. Before he caught that, he knew that he needed to get a shot off. Recognizes that Westberg is in front of him, and while Westberg has proven to be a sneaky decent asset on defense, Crawford knows that he's going to be able to manipulate Berg in front of him to shoot around him, which is what we saw them do such a good job of earlier this game. So good job by Crawford to say, hey, if we're not going to do it, I'll do it myself. And we got a 3-goal game with plenty of time left.
And we saw in the first quarter how explosive the Wings offense can be. Tying a franchise record for goals in a single quarter with 8. Logan excites the crowd, laying some lumber.
Yeah, she is a special player. We haven't said his name enough tonight, but one of the best defensemen in the league.
Braden Bradley physically up the floor, drawing a penalty as O'Riglieri races up for a 6-on-5. Zach Deacon picked up in a trade with Ottawa as they received Jacob Dunbar, who had a great debut on Friday for the Black Bears. Bergen Benesh up top. Benny could have a sock trick in his debut with one more. And they'll have to wait as San Diego will head to the power play at the 8:48 mark. Two minutes for holding against Scott Dominic. San Diego with a 3-goal lead in the power play coming up. Wings fighting from behind to try and avoid an opening weekend loss. Let's take a look at the assist of the game brought to you by Eero. Wesley Berg behind the back to Rob Hellier to put the Seals ahead 10-9 and erase a 5-goal first quarter deficit. You know, Nick, we talk about Wesley Berg all the time. He's just so fun, so creative, and puts it on a dime to Rob Hellier for the go-ahead marker.
And does such a great job of manipulating space. He attacked where the ball came from, ran towards the middle of the floor for a crafty behind-the-back assist.
San Diego a perfect 4 for 4 on the power play today. Trying to add some distance after the penalty on Dominic. Berg and Benesh up top. Benesh, 5 goals to match the league high on opening weekend. McIntosh has his 4th trickle by Damoud. He's got a goldfish on the back of his helmet. Got to have a memory like a goldfish on a goal like that. Sneaks through.
And boy, when it rains, it pours. That's just almost a, let's try and get a rebound shot as we see Wes Berg with a lot of space, but Trey Leclerc working hard. And McIntosh just shoots it around. Damoud gets a piece, and for the second time tonight, the piece is not the whole pie as it trickles in.
And here comes Deacon Knott to replace Nick Damoud between the pipes. Well, Deacon Knott, if you are unfamiliar, had one of the great junior A runs 2 years ago for the Burlington Blaze, leading them to the Minto Cup championship. Did not ultimately win the most valuable player of the Minto Cup tournament, but I think most people in attendance agree he was the best player. Young goaltender getting some minutes, relieving Nick Damoud. The Wings need some help here down 4 with 8:20 left.
Look at Danny Logan just scrapping in a 2-on-1. He comes up with it, and that to me has been the story of the night, is in those 50-50 loose balls. San Diego's coming up with 75% of them, not only getting valuable possessions, but wearing down this Wings team.
Led to a lot more shots on goal, as you see on your screen there. 51-38. San Diego has just had second chances. I mean, their marathon possession in the second comes to mind. I think they had 6 shots on goal on 1 possession. Penalty is released, so back to 5-on-5. Dominic trying to score a hat trick. And it's going to carry all the way to the Wings bench and give the ball to San Diego.
I've been impressed with Dominic's game for the Philadelphia Wings. Not only is he becoming a threat in transition, but even right there, it's not just the breakaway speed. That was a pretty crafty stop, get to the middle, and get a shot off.
Leclerc bouncing around. He scored once in the second half. Courier getting a shift on offense. And they're going to get Benesh for the illegal screen. 2-on-1 coming back for Philadelphia. Great fake as Malcolm turned away by Origlieri. He has been locked in since re-entering the game here in the second half.
And again, it's the variety of saves. The outside, the one-on-nones right there. Origlieri, after being relieved for about 15 minutes, has come out firing.
Berg floating backwards. Benesh, one shy of a sock trick. And Noakes retrieves it, still a couple seconds to work with, as Knott steers it up into the corner, and Benesh retrieves it. San Diego has a fresh 30 seconds. Up by 4 with under 7 to play. Still plenty of time for the Wings.
Defenders are just gassed.
Leclerc, good defense. And now leaking out. And Burton steps in the crease. It does not count.
Looks like the challenge flag is coming out, to no surprise. But interesting that that's the second one-on-none that Philadelphia's gotten in transition on the last 2 possessions. Not difficult to read what their strategy is going to be, so it's going to be up to San Diego to prevent it. As we go to the replay here again, the ball has to cross the plane before he steps in the crease, and that right foot was the first part of the body that entered. This will be a great view right here. Did Origlieri get enough of it?
Foot's down, ball is not across.
Believe he did.
It's going to be tough to overturn this.
Challenging the call of a crease violation. The play will be under review.
Oh, just like in other sports, if you're familiar with replay review, the language is important. You need undisputable video evidence to overturn a call. The call on the floor is gospel, and right now it is no goal. You need to have inarguable video evidence to prove that that was in fact a goal to overturn it. I think the likeliest scenario is we're going to hear the words "the call stands" as opposed to "is confirmed" or "overturned."
This will be a good view right here. Again, great shot, goes right under the armpit.
His toes on the line, and the ball is just starting to cross the goal line.
Well, and what's important is the ball bounces on the white line, which means it's not all the way across. So even as we see the ball bounce,
so the play is dead right
there,
now, and the
then
ball.
It's tough to tell from that angle because you have no depth, but when it bounces,
down
it's
on
not
the
across,
white
so
line.
you can
play
imply.
that through here the rest of the way. You'll see where it lands on the line before going in.
I should have been a lawyer.
There's still time.
No. Yeah, they have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, I think, is the legal jargon. And again, knowing that the ball bounces.
We know his foot's in the crease right there.
Yep.
And that ball is on the line.
Freeze frame.
Great work by our replay operator today.
That new turf looking crisp from the sky cam.
Officiating crew taking their time. 30 goals today, the highest scoring game in the NLL on face-off weekend 2024. For San Diego, first of 4 out of 5 at home to open the season. They'll go to Georgia next week and then come back to play Colorado, Georgia, and Ottawa. 3 games in 4 weeks. One more look. Question is, did it cross the line before Burton has his toe on the line? Call on the floor was no goal. So we need to see something conclusive to overturn it.
But again, that was, as a reminder, the second one-on-none that Philadelphia got off of those San Diego possessions. So in the same way that Philadelphia needs to show a little urgency, they've done that, and now it's up to the San Diego offensive players to not just prevent transition, but to make sure they're getting off the floor quickly.
And is that simply effort, or is there some technique involved with making those changes quick?
Nope, it is straight effort as we go down to the call. The referees have made their decision. I think. They might just want to say, hey, what are you thinking? Pizza after the game? Yep, okay, good. Now let's go back to the call. That's what I'm getting after the game.
After review, the call on the field is confirmed. We have no goal crease violation.
We did it. We called it.
Philadelphia has charged their second half timeout.
That is significant, as Philadelphia thought they may have pulled back within 3, but instead it remains a 4-goal game, matching the largest it's Leclerc. He has one in the second half, scored the shorty on that 7-minute sequence. Chico drifting backwards. Now with space, and Knott makes the save. He's been perfect since coming in to relieve Damu.
But yet again, the rebound game just playing such an advantage to the Seals. They get yet another 30 seconds.
San Diego taking their time, shot clock under 10, McIntosh initiating. Not there for the save, and the Wings get out of dodge. A little bit under 5.5 left.
Such a tricky shot that McIntosh has perfected, running downhill, but putting his body and his hands towards the middle and just flick of the wrist.
Catoni with his 4th of the game and 1st since the opening quarter. A must-have goal at the 5:10 mark for the Wings, keeping them in this game and narrowing it back to 3.
And if Catoni was mic'd up, I'd bet that we heard a big sigh of relief. Origlieri has had Catoni's number for the second half, sort of finally sneak one past him. Really impressive bounce shot underneath the right shin of Origlieri, and again, the urgency, I feel, is going to dictate how the rest of this game plays.
Is there much Graydon Bradley defending him can do in that situation?
Yeah, get out on hands. You know that Philadelphia is going to need to be desperate and going to need to do a little less reading and a little more, let's just get shots on net and see if they fall. So don't expect those fake shots as much and just get out on hands to prevent that.
Danny Logan wins a marathon loose ball out of a crowd. The Seals, with the clock as an ally, can wind it under 4.5, leading by 3. 17 goals, the most allowed by the Wings since March 23rd against Vancouver last year when they were burned for 21 by the Warriors. Wesley Bird flips it, Leclerc. And he gets swallowed up by Dominy. What a night for Scott Dominy. 2 goals in transition and also showing some serious improvement on the defensive side of the ball.
Very impressive stuff, showing that he is a Swiss Army knife.
Resiteritz stoned by Origlieri. Good find by Jones. Leclerc gets it up to Berg as he'll slam on the brakes. The clock ticking under 4 minutes.
Not all saves are created equal, and that was a huge one from Origlieri right there, preventing, because if that falls, Philadelphia has life.
Courier underneath, flying through the crease, and Knott played it nicely. He stays perfect. Well, it's never been about the volume of saves for Chris Origlieri. The Seals just systematically don't allow a lot of shots. 6 on 5 here as Knott goes to the bench. Swings in desperation time, under 3.5 left. O'Neal, quiet since the first quarter. Crawford sails it, and a long rebound. It's a foot race. Drew Belgrave with an open net, and he buries it for San Diego as they bury Philly's hopes at a comeback.
You got to be so cautious about those outside shots and making sure they go on net, because if they don't, the boards behind you will ultimately bury you as Drew Belgrave scoops it up, shows the burst. Look at the effort by O'Neal right there, but ultimately Belgrave puts the nail in the coffin. And what a performance.
First goal for Drew Belgrave since April 9th of 2022 against Colorado. So if you had a Drew Belgrave goal on your bingo card, you won big today.
Hit the exacto box.
And DeChico content to work a little bit of clock as San Diego up by 4 with less than 3 minutes to play. Seals overcame a 5-goal deficit in the first, surrendered 8 goals to the Wings in the opening 15 minutes, just 6 goals in nearly 45 since then. Leclerc gets stripped by his former teammate McCannell, and the Wings will have it. Jones trotting it up, steps into one, and Origlieri with his wrist punches it to the corner. Benesh on him, and Jones, a low save Origlieri this time.
point again, just the variety of saves. That left wrist getting in on the action, that right shin, he's just all over the net. What a great second half for Chris Ariglieri.
And impressive being able to rebound after getting pulled in the first half. Mike Poulin came in, played about a quarter. Chico into McIntosh, not kicked it away.
Going on that point one more time, talking to head coach Patrick Merrill last year, he said that Poulin is going to be great for giving some of that veteran wisdom to the young goaltender, and looks like that's been paying off.
Crawford up the rest of Terrence. They got to go quickly, down by 4. Playing 6-on-5, empty net. Shot clock does not reset. 6 seconds. Jones flings it wide. Resiteritz at the buzzer, and the save made by Origlieri. They'll say it does not count. Well, one official was signaling a shot clock violation. He was then overruled. Crawford, another Origlieri save. The kid is locked in. 21 years young, and Chris Origlieri putting on a clinic in the fourth. San Diego 69 seconds away from an opening weekend victory. One minute, 9 seconds left here on NLL Face-Off Weekend. The San Diego Seals overcoming a 5-goal deficit and leading the Philadelphia Wings by 4. Both teams retooled and new-look rosters, and it has been the San Diego additions of Rob Hellyer, Ben McIntosh, and Ryan Benesh who have lit the scoreboard on fire and made the scorekeepers finger tired punching the button so many times. Cooper Perkins, Nick Ocello with you, and Nick, an impressive performance from a Seals team that I think a lot of people had questions about. The NLL GMs and coaches who were surveyed for the power rankings preseason picked them 5th, and that's a big departure from where they've been the last couple of years as one of just 2 teams to win 27 games the last 2 seasons.
Well, and you have your staple guys, you know, Wes Berg coming in, Trey LeClaire coming in, but it's the new additions, the McIntosh, the Benesh. I mean, this is exactly what you wanted to see if you're head coach Patrick Merrill.
They've looked crisper, they've looked cleaner, the ball has moved faster. The Seals offense has been a delight to watch today.
And showing some resilience, starting with a pretty big 5-goal deficit.
Under 40 seconds. Alex Pace brings it ahead for the Wings. So Philadelphia, barring an absolute miracle, is going to fall to 0-1 on the season and drop their opener.
Now the game's been chippy. You think we see some fireworks here late? Whoa!
Mitch Jones not quite done yet. He scores his 3rd. It's an 8-point game for Mitch Jones. Still 25.5 seconds left. No timeouts remaining for Philadelphia.
And even though it's 99% not going to impact the outcome of the game, how you finish when you're down has a sneaky big effect on what the locker room looks like after the game, what practice looks like, what the film breakdown looks like. And the last thing that you want to do is put on film that you are a team that is willing to roll over and quit. Mitch Jones says that is absolutely not the Philadelphia Wings, so might not have a big impact on the outcome of the game, but sometimes those are the sneaky important goals to bounce back next week.
3 goals, 5 assists for Mitch Jones. 2nd in points to only Ryan Benesh with 9. And DeChico, the rookie, see if he tries to get an empty netter in his debut game. He gets pinned up against the boards, and they're going to give it to the Wings. Excuse me, they call timeout. Patrick Merrill stops the clock with 17 seconds left. Wings will go at the empty net and try and win the ball back. This one's all but settled, and I think the statement that was made loud and clear, Nick, is that this is an entirely different San Diego Seals attack, and it looks like it's a whole lot more dangerous despite not necessarily having the same level of star power as past seasons.
Yeah, an offense by committee, and we mentioned it about some of the difficulties that San Diego had last year with their offense was the ball dying in any particular player's stick. They kind of just had that air about their offense, and I think that has been completely eliminated with McIntosh and Benesh.
To your point, it feels like already there are clearly defined roles on the offense, and that may not have been the case the last couple of years, where roles were a little bit more fluid, and it was one guy's turn tonight and it's another's next week, and it was kind of a rotating basis. But this feels like a true seven-pronged attack. How do you defend all these guys?
And again, I can't stress enough how important it is that San Diego started slow. So if they find themselves down later in the season, they're going to say, hey, remember game one when we came back almost at the snap of a finger.
Wings will double team with Domini and Malcolm. Seals trying to get one more empty netter. He ends up against the boards. Precious time running out as the Wings' hopes dribble away. It is a final at Pechanga Arena in San Diego. The Seals beat the Wings 18-15 on the back of Ryan Benesh's 5 goals, along with 4 from Ben McIntosh. We wanted to catch up with him before the game, and maybe it was good that we didn't, because he was locked in and focused. Ben McIntosh is down on the floor after his Seals debut with our very own Morgan Worth.
Cooper, thank you so much. Ben, 4 goals against your former team. How good does it feel to get this win today?
Yeah, I mean, obviously finding out you're playing your old team from the beginning. I've got a lot of friends on that team. It's always a little uncomfortable, but it was good to get a few early for sure.
A lot of new pieces on this Seals team. So what does this win today say about the potential for you guys going forward?
Yeah, it's a good start. We have a lot to build on. It's a long season. It's a good start for us, and now we're on to the next game.
Ben, thank you so much. Congratulations. Cooper.
Thank you, Morgan. Once again, it is a final in San Diego. The Seals beat the Wings 18-15. They're 1-0. The Wings are 0-1. For our producer, Kimberly Booth-Higgs, for Atomic Television's Josh Good, for my partner, Nick Casello, for Morgan Worth down on the floor, I'm Cooper Perkins, saying thanks for tuning in on your Sunday. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next time.